I had no idea what I was in store for with Danmachi Season 5. I don't know what my expectations were, but they were not what we ended up getting. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Don't worry, we'll get to it, because there is a lot to talk about with the Gaslighting Goddess arc. Let's start with the first plot point of the season, Seer Flover. Seer has been a character that's impossible not to like since the beginning of the show, and yet her role had seemingly diminished over time. So it was a welcome surprise when not only did episode 1 start with her, but the first few episodes completely center around her finally shooting her shot with Belle. How frazzled all the other girls were from this bold move, how Belle was forced to accept and had to be trained how to act, it was all pure comedy. But questions popped up from this too. Who is Seer really? Why is she being protected by the Freya Familia? Why does she want to be kidnapped? What are we missing here? For as funny as the setup was, it was the intriguing questions that really hooked me. And where it went was absolutely not what I expected. I figured Seer was Freya's sister or someone she raised from a young age. I did not expect it to be Freya cosplaying the entire time, though when you go back, this was teased from the very beginning. In the very first scene we see Seer, we see Freya's eyes pop up, so it's not like they didn't tell us right away. After my blown mind came to its senses, it really made me wonder how much of Seer was real and how much was performance. Like, how much of Seer's personality is Freya versus acting? 10%? 50%? 90%? It's important because Seer was so kind and genuine, but Freya has essentially been the big bad of the series. Those questions diminished a little bit when, after Belle rejects her, she basically declares war on the Hestia Familia. You'd think that'd be enough, but no. She brainwashes all of Arario to forget Belle was ever a member of the Hestia Familia. The entire city now views him as a member of Freya's Familia. As this was happening, I couldn't help but think this is one of the best anime episodes I've seen all year long. Then Freya goes into hardcore gaslighting mode. She starts recalling memories of Belle's that she shouldn't know but found out by stealing Aina's logbook, but then tweaks the memories slightly to fit her narrative. She does things only Hestia should be able to do as his goddess because she has an illegal magic potion. This chick basically threw on a strap-on and went to town on his brain. Put yourself in this situation. You've been told everything you remember is a lie, and then time and time again, mounting evidence supports that conclusion being correct. Also, in that new reality, you have this baddie fawning over you, and you're part of probably the most prestigious family in Arario? Freya literally pitched a threesome with Ryu. Life could be worse. I don't think I would be putting up nearly that big of a fight if the consolation was Freya, even if she hits the top of the scale on that hot crazy chart. I've loved seeing the reaction to all the gaslighting too. It would have been so awesome to see the showrunners change the intro to incorporate the fake memories. The underrated part of Freya's plan that's genius is how she was simultaneously wearing him down physically. If Belle was allowed to sit around every day and get lost in thought, it'd be so much easier for him to find holes or contradictions in the story. But when he's literally fighting for his life every day, he doesn't have time to think about it, and after a while he simply adapts to this being his new normal. The only time he's allowed to be in comfort is with Freya, and it's like Pavlov's dog. Psychological manipulation. She's conditioning him to feel at ease around her, and only around her. The plan is evil, but excellent. I can't deny that. But the same reason why she fell for him is why he's able to stay strong. He's special. The reason cracks start forming is because he holds out for so long. That messes with Freya, which in turn distracts the rest of the Familia, which allows other actions to take place. But it all started with him. Though I'll admit I had my doubts. When he said he didn't remember who he was chasing, I thought it was over for him. The next thing you know, he's sleeping in Freya's bed, and you're thinking, how long is it going to take for him to eventually undo all of this emotional trauma? But when he goes to see Eyes and their connection is expressed through how she feels, even though she doesn't remember him, that was exactly what he needed. No one can succeed alone. Sometimes the best of us need support or even just acknowledgement. That was what happened here. It's so fitting that after initially fawning over her, he strove to be her equal and then refused to allow himself to be saved by her in the process. He stood up to her when she was in the wrong, but when he was at his lowest point, she was able to save him in a different way. Not one that was embarrassing, but one that was needed. It was amazing. Then, when Bell's will has been rejuvenated, it was cool as hell to see him use the exact move Eyes taught him, the one he used against the Minotaur in Season 1, against Hedon in their sparring session. I really don't know how this show keeps getting better, but I'm not complaining. This is right up there with Season 4 as the best of the series, and by the time it concludes, it may exceed it. I hope we get another 5 seasons at least, because it's incredible, and I don't want it to end. With that, I'm out.